SMT Nation, we back. Nation, if you are monitoring the community tab, I post polls all the time. I drop video content there as well for members and other things. But I like to post the polls there because I like to get, the pulse of the nation. We had 726 votes. Shout out to the SMT Nation. I asked the question and I gave two options. Do you like Verizon? And the options were simply yes or no. And you got to choose one, and that's on purpose. I don't give any other options. That's it. I just want to know, do you like them? Yes or no? 726 votes. Let's take a look at the results. Picture it here on the screen. But before we do talk about this, please do like and share this video, subscribe if you're new here, and turn on the bell notifications icon to never miss an upload from the SMT. All right, folks. So do you like Verizon? A large majority of the SMT Nation said yes. They like Verizon. 60% of you said yes. 40% said no, which is not nothing, right? That is still, 40%, right? So, if we pulled 10 of you, 6 said you like Verizon, 4 said you didn't. Now, it comes to the point where you have to consider, why do people like Verizon? I think for the most part, generally speaking, most people find their network to be, pretty reliable. I think their plans offer customizability, something that's unique in the industry. I think their pricing has improved. I think the way to get Verizon network access is also, pretty flexible. You can get visible, you can get big cable. There's different ways to get on the network, but specifically to Verizon, I think they've done a lot to improve their perception as being customer unfriendly over the last handful of years. AT&T and T-Mobile have become much more competitive, and that's forced Verizon to kind of have to be a little bit different compared to, say, 10 years ago. And they've got a different CEO compared to the CEO they had in that era. So, I think some of that kind of is in play. Now, for those of you that said no, could be a number of factors there. It could be that, you maybe have bad perceptions on Verizon, a pre-existing past in which they screwed you over on a bill or a phone. I think with any company that's possible, right? That could have happened with, AT&T or T-Mobile or whatever. So that's probably a factor. But I think the sentiment is oftentimes people say Verizon is expensive. Or maybe it's some sort of a business policy or practice that they never liked from them and something along those lines. Or maybe the network has faltered in the region. That can happen too. And we've seen some of the older Verizon sites haven't been upgraded in a while. That can lead to a less than enjoyable experience on the network, right? And it could be a number of things. You guys can tell me why, but I do think when I look at the AT&T results, we're actually like the exact opposite. Verizon had a 60-40 split. AT&T was similar in those numbers, but the tables were turned. They were 61% no and 39% yes. So it's an interesting contrast.